Gentlemen, let me start with a truth most men over 60 feel, but almost never say out loud. A man doesn't feel older the day he gets a gray hair. He doesn't feel older when his back aches or when he needs reading glasses. The moment he truly feels something slipping is when his body stops responding the way it once did in the most private part of his life. That sudden weakness, that tight, squeezed sensation, that strange pressure in the groin that appears during arousal. And worst of all, that moment when the response you always counted on suddenly isn't there. Most men think this is just aging, but I need you to hear this clearly. For many men over 60 in the United States, the very first warning sign of declining health isn't memory loss, chest discomfort, or fatigue. It's changes in circulation in the most sensitive area of the body. That tight, cramp-like sensation you sometimes feel isn't in your head. It's your blood vessels sending you a message. A message that your circulation is struggling. And if you ignore that message long enough, it doesn't just affect your intimate confidence, it affects your energy, your metabolism, and your long-term health. I'm Dr. Sofia, a board-certified urologist with over 25 years of experience helping men rebuild their circulation, restore their vitality, and regain their confidence naturally. And today, I want to share something that every man over 50 deserves to know, because the real key to stronger performance, better blood flow, and a healthier, more responsive body isn't found in a pill, an injection, or a procedure. It's found in 3 simple foods sitting quietly in American kitchens and grocery stores right now. You don't need special supplements. You don't need exotic herbs. You don't need complicated diets. You need to support the blood vessels that supply your most important tissues. And modern research is showing that certain foods can help reduce that tight, cramping vascular sensation, improve circulation, and help your body respond with more strength and ease. Before we begin, do me one quick favor. If you're a man over 50 who wants to protect your circulation, strengthen your daily vitality, and improve your performance confidence naturally, hit the like button, subscribe so you never miss a new men's health video, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love seeing men from Texas, Florida, New York, California, the Midwest, and all across the country join this community. Now, let's talk about why this matters so much. As men get older, the tiny blood vessels that supply the intimate area become stiffer, less flexible, and more prone to spasms. That's what causes the tight, pressured feeling many of you know all too well. It's your body struggling to move blood into tissue that used to respond instantly. If you could see it under a microscope, it would look like a kinked garden hose trying to push water through a narrow opening. But here's the good news. Those vessels are not dead. They are not beyond repair. They are simply hungry for the right nutrients, circulation-boosting compounds, and minerals your body stopped getting consistently as you aged. And the 3 foods we are about to cover today can help restore flexibility, reduce vascular tension, and support that natural response you thought you were losing for good. These foods aren't exotic, they aren't expensive, and one of them works so quickly that many men tell me they feel a difference within the first week. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how each of these foods works inside your bloodstream, why they specifically support men over 50, and how to use them in a simple daily routine to help restore your circulation from the inside out. Stay with me, because once you understand how these foods affect the tiny arteries that matter most, you'll never look at your nutrition the same way again. The first thing we need to understand is this. When a man over 60 starts to feel that strange tightness, that weak responsiveness, or that cramp-like pressure during arousal, it is almost never just age. It is almost always circulation. And that circulation problem usually begins long before you ever feel it in the bedroom. Inside your body right now, there are thousands of tiny blood vessels feeding oxygen and nutrients to your most sensitive tissues. These vessels are incredibly small, thinner than a human hair, and they are the very first part of your cardiovascular system to show damage, stiffness, or narrowing. Not your heart, not your major arteries. These microvessels fail first. That's why the earliest sign of declining circulation often shows up in your intimate function, not in your chest. Most men don't realize this because no one ever explained it to them. They experience slower response, weaker firmness, or that dull tightening sensation and assume something is wrong with their hormones, their libido, or their masculinity. But the truth is far simpler. The blood vessels feeding the tissue are tired. They're inflamed. They're stiff. They're not opening fully anymore. And that stiffness directly creates the pressure and discomfort many men describe as a cramp deep in the groin. I once treated a man named Robert from Tennessee, 68 years old, a former truck driver, proud of his work ethic and independence. He sat in my office and said, "Doc, it's not that I can't get in the mood. It's that the moment things start happening, everything feels tight and slow, like the blood can't get where it needs to go." That sentence described his entire problem. His desire was intact, his hormones were fine, but his circulation was struggling. When we looked deeper, he had early microvascular stiffness, something that happens quietly after decades of sitting, stress, salt-heavy diets, blood sugar swings, dehydration, and low nitric oxide levels. The same pattern I see in thousands of men over 50. But here's the part that gives men hope. These small vessels are still alive. They are repairable. They are capable of becoming flexible again. And that's exactly where the first powerhouse food comes in: beets. Most men don't realize just how powerful beets are for circulation. They are loaded with natural nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for opening blood vessels naturally. In men over 60, nitric oxide levels drop significantly. That's why tissue begins to feel tight, resistant, or slow during arousal. Without nitric oxide, those vessels stay constricted. Blood flow becomes sluggish. Your body is trying to do its job through a straw. But when you eat beets or drink beet juice, your nitric oxide rises, your vessels relax, and that deep cramping feeling often begins to soften. Not because you forced anything, but because your body was given what it needed. But beets are only the first step, because nitric oxide alone is not enough. Once blood begins moving, the vessels need help relaxing even more, especially the tiny arteries that tend to spasm after 60. And that's where the second food comes in: watermelon. Not just the sweet red part, but the pale white rind most people throw away. That rind contains citrulline, a natural compound that helps relax blood vessels and reduce vascular tension. For men over 60, this is critical. These tiny arteries often become stiff and prone to microspasms, causing that tight, pulling sensation during arousal. Citrulline helps calm that tension. It allows vessels to open more freely and naturally. Beets help open the pathway. Watermelon helps relax it. And finally, the third food, pumpkin seeds. These small seeds are packed with magnesium, zinc, and arginine, 3 nutrients essential for proper blood flow and performance. Magnesium helps relax blood vessels. Zinc supports healthy testosterone function. Arginine helps produce nitric oxide. Together, they strengthen the entire system from the inside out. Now here's where the real power comes in. When you combine these 3 foods into a daily routine, the effects don't just add up, they multiply. Start your morning with beets. Have watermelon, including some rind, during the day. Add 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seeds later on. Follow this for a week, and many men begin to notice real changes: better energy, less tension, improved responsiveness, and sometimes even the return of morning strength. And I want you to hear this clearly. You are not too old. You are not beyond repair. Your body is capable of rebuilding when you give it the right support. Beets open the path. Watermelon calms the tension. Pumpkin seeds rebuild the foundation. Together, they help restore function, confidence, and vitality in a natural way. If this message resonated with you, like the video, subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from. And remember, this video is for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice. Every man is different. If you have concerns or medical conditions, please consult your healthcare provider.